Ladies and gentlemen.
And we're back. This is Drew Sits with Tonight. I'm joined by Queeny. Thanks for coming out.
I love the production value.
Thank you. It's very nice, right? Got the whole studio audience here.
Oh my God.
It's really fun.
It's too many, actually. I'm getting crowd fear.
Yeah, it's kind of like overwhelming, but... Okay, so this is the first time we're meeting, so thank you for doing the show.
Of course.
But you're a stand-up comedian, right? Mm-hmm. Amongst many other things. You're a singer-songwriter, right? So I guess introduce yourself.
Oh my God, he actually did research. That's weird. No one does that. I mean, I would say like my main thing these days, at least, is stand-up. That's always been kind of like my main medium of, I mean, at least performing as an adult. Right, like in like high school and college, I did music and stuff like that. And then I kind of, when I started doing stand up, I was like, well, you know, I kind of had this other piece of me. I should probably brush off all of my skills, make sure all those are good to go. So I went back to voice lessons. I started writing songs, create an album. Though these days, mostly I do that like to get on variety shows and things like that. Funny thing happened recently. I got booked on a show. And it's one that, like, it's at a gay bar. It's late night. Like, late night starts at like 12:30 at night. Oh. It's a 4 a.m. So, like, you do two sets. The first set you go up, generally pretty tame. You know, like it's a 4 a.m. bar. People haven't really filed in from the 2 a.m. bars yet. Right. So it's like fine. You can do stand up, nice and easy. Good crowd. They're attentive. Then you do the intermission. You come back. Now all the 4 a.m. people are starting to come in. And so now you have like the first row of people are paying attention to you and everyone behind them does not care that a show is happening right now. So I've done it so many times where I've tried to do stand up on the second set. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. It was not fun. I did not like that. So I was like, okay, I'll do music on the second one. Great. And I hadn't performed any of my songs in so long that I was like, cool, I'll do music. How did those go? So then for like the next 2 days, I'm sitting there studying my own catalog, trying to relearn these songs that I wrote.
That's so funny.
I was like, this is kind of embarrassing.
Did the music work though? Did they?
Yeah, no, it
kept
like
their attention.
Yeah, no, it went well. You know, I mean, they're used to people doing whatever because like on that one, I think I'm one of the only ones that they book that does stand up. Oh, everyone else does something else.
Gotcha.
So,
is that the hardest thing to follow? Is stand-up harder to follow music? I would assume, right? Like the music should go at the end on a stand-up show.
I feel like you can do it like a couple different ways. Depends on the song for one. Yeah. Depends on like how like high energy it is and things like that. Like if you do this like big dance showstopper and then you're like, you know, dating is weird, right? You know, like right after like it better be good. You know, better be really good.
Great. Yeah.
You know, I had that happen. It was this show actually like a couple times ago that I had done it. The one who's a host is a singer and also a dancer. So he had this whole choreographed Beyonce medley showstopper. He's like, and now Queeny. I walk up on the stage like, well, that was rude.
Right.
Let me just talk about stuff now.
Right. And you have to say something, right? You can't just you can't.
Well, I mean, you have to make it work, you know. Right. I mean, you're here, you're booked, you're paid, you got to make it work. I mean, it went fine, but I was sitting there, it's like, wow, now I have to really get them. I have to get them down, but happy that they're down.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, how long have you actually been doing stand up for?
6 years.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I get a lot of open mic kind of people that are more like, you know, 2 years in or something like that. So
I mean, it's funny because like when I was 2 years in, I was looking at people who were like 5 years in, going like, oh my God, they're the professionals.
Literally.
And now I've been doing it for 6 years, and I'm like, I'm still starting.
Who are some people that you started with that are like still doing it with you? Like, who's your class of people?
I would say Nina Kern, Ariel Julie. Most of them have quit. Honestly, like
wow.
I mean, there's others, but I can't remember if they started when I started. Like Mo Abed, I know he started around the same time as me, but I haven't seen him in a little bit.
Interesting.
Because I also started going at like viewers don't know this one, but our listeners, it's a trigger warning, which is like it's an open mic, but it's generally for the veterans, you know, because it's like it's a little bit of a heckle mic, and at least back before the pandemic when I started, it was like actually like a mean mic, which was
triggering.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun because if they didn't like your joke, they would just start playing sound effects and it was like you had walked in this. It was a small room and all the chairs were around you.
Jeez.
So you were in the center, and so like any offhand comment someone said, you could hear it.
Right.
And there's no one was going to tell them to not talk, because that was the thing. You had to be able to hold the focus.
Yeah.
And so I got really in with like that crew.
Gotcha.
So most of the people that I was hanging out with, like really getting to know when I was starting up, had already been in it for like 5 years or so.
Okay. That's great. That probably helped
Yeah.
make you better.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it helped that I was not in any kind of safe room starting out. I was in like, people were like, so you started in the hardest rooms. Kinda.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, you're like a superhero. You were formed in the...
Basically, I mean, my first open mic was at the Comedy Bar.
Wow.
So I did like an actual club my first time, not because I was like trying to do anything interesting, but just because I didn't know anything in the group. Like back then there was a website that said where everything was, and it listed out by day. You could click each day and it would tell you where to go. But I didn't know that resource was there. So I just went on Google and looked up open mics near me, and it only came up with Laugh Factory and Comedy Bar. So I just went to those.
It's so funny. Yeah, I mean, now I guess it's more commonly known of like how to get into it. But when I was 15 watching stand-up comedy on TV, you're like, who allows this person to be the one guy on stage? You know, it's like kind of this weird thing to think about. But so why did you get into stand-up? Just performing in general?
Well, I mean, I was performing and I stopped in college. And then I was in restaurants for like 16 years.
Nice.
But I took like a full like 10-year break from anything having to do with like real performing, and just kind of like focused on career. And so I was kind of like leaving fine dining management, and was realizing in that I was like, I don't know if I want, like I was trying to go back, and like I had been a sommelier for floors and things for years, but I hadn't had like the certification behind it, because I had just kind of been thrown into the jobs and just studied and kind of gotten my handle on it. Had been doing it at like the Waldorf and some other places and things like that, but I couldn't be listed as a sommelier anywhere in Chicago without having the piece of paper. So I was like, okay, let me go. I'll go back to serving at a nice restaurant for a little while, so I just have like the work-life balance, so I can focus on studying and take the test and go from there. And as I kind of like left out of there, I realized that I didn't really want to go back into management, because it's 60 to 70 hour weeks. You're on salary with no bonus structure. Like you're working as many hours as you need to work. And I wasn't really ready to go back to making the sacrifices that it like kind of requires you to do. And I was like coming up on 30, I was 28 at the time. And I was like, I don't know that I want to be doing this when I'm 40. You know, because I know like sommeliers generally, they work on the floor for about 10 years before it's like your body just can't keep handling this. And then eventually they kind of go into a different thing. And I was looking at the things that they do, and I'm like, none of this is speaking to me. You know, like I didn't want to be like some head of education, or I didn't want to go into the distributor route, or any of the other jobs were just like kind of like desk number crunching things. And I was like, that's just not me. So looking at that, I was telling my parents, like, I need to do something. I don't know what it is. And whatever it is, it needs to be the thing that scares me the most, because that's the thing that I want the most. And all of a sudden I realized I was sitting at home, and I was just like voraciously going through these Netflix comedy specials, like to the point where I was running out of them. You know, it was like 2019. I had gone through everything from like 2016 on. I was like, I can't do pre-Trump. It's a different world. It's different things. I can't watch it. It's not going to hit the same. So I'm sitting there and I'm realizing, you know, I'm kind of doing this already. Like I'm running banquets, I'm running these floors, and with that, it's crowd work. And when you're doing, like, you have to do these presentations, which a lot of times is written, and you're explaining the reason you're pairing the wines with the food and the, you know, the ethos for the menu and all these things.
You're giving your point of view of why you should be drinking this wine.
And you're writing jokes. So, because you have to make it, because they have to feel like it's entertaining and look forward to you doing the next presentation with each course. So with that, I was realizing, like, all I need to do is change the topic to me instead of the food and wine, and then I'm basically doing stand-up.
Yeah, it's true. So did you feel comfortable the first time you got on stage?
Yeah. Like, I had already done public speaking. I had already been on a stage before. You know, I'd already done all those things. It was weird, kind of like telling about myself rather than having like a structured format.
Right.
You know,
you're selling the wine, you're not selling you.
Well, and or you're talking about a menu that's already been made, you know, and they're there for this restaurant, so therefore, like, and it's they're expecting you to come out at certain moments, and like they're expecting you on a stage, but it's a different setup, you know. So like going in for an open mic, I was kind of like, I don't know, like, if it doesn't work, I don't have another set. I only wrote this one.
Yeah.
So I go up, and luckily it worked. And so then from there, I bombed the next time I went up.
Right, but now you're fucked because now it worked one time, so you can do it again. You know,
like, now I know it could work.
Right.
So then anything else after that, I was like, yeah, but that one time,
exactly,
it did work. And it's funny because then I went to one of the, like, it's Shakers back in the day, and it was like the 6:30 mic. No one shows up to that, and so it was like probably 10 people, all comics, just sitting there as I go through this thing. I'm wearing makeup and heels. My mom's with me. It's just like going through my set. It doesn't really work. I go over to the comedy bar mic afterwards. Doesn't really work there either. Yeah. And I'm just like, God, if I hadn't gone to the comedy bar the first time, I probably would have quit. Like, I'm happy that I went to the place that everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe you went there. It's like, no, I had an actual audience.
Right.
And it worked. Like, if I had done that same set the way I did it in front of a bunch of comics looking at their notebooks, it would not have worked. Right. And I would not have had fun.
Yeah, they wouldn't have cared. That's so interesting. Okay, so you said the heels and everything. So I guess, do you want to explain a little bit more about you? What are your pronouns, Queeny?
Oh, I don't care. Like, I feel like the pronoun wars of 2018 happened after I was already kind of developed. Because, like,
interesting. Okay,
I came out when I was 14.
Oh,
so for me, when that had happened, I had already been out for like 14 years. So I had already kind of figured out who I was. I had that time. And I guess I kind of started transitioning into the non-binary thing without even realizing that that's a thing. You know, because like back when I was in high school and college, I used to think of myself as, I called myself gender neutral. Because I thought that was something my professors would say. I thought it sounded smart, but because like there wasn't a word for it yet.
Right.
So, and that was just because I was like, you know, like the typical male ideals of things like that. I don't really identify with those. I don't feel like I'm those things. But then I'm like, I'm also don't feel like I'm full onto the female side either. Like there's this kind of like this middle ground where I'm just like, I'm just me. I'm who I am that day, and that's just kind of what it is.
Sure.
So when people came up with like the pronoun situation, for me it felt weird. Like I was one of the people like, what? And like I had to like edit, but I sat there, I was like, okay, I understand what's going on. I explained it to people. I'm like, I'm still bad at it, but at the same time I was like, okay, though I'm technically a they them, I don't necessarily identify, and I don't really, and you're never going to offend me by using the wrong pronoun.
Gotcha.
But like I was starting to wear makeup like a little bit before I started going into comedy. And it was kind of like something I had always done a little bit. Like I did it when I was in theater performances in high school. Sure. Did it a little bit through college as just like an expressionism thing. And then when I started getting into like more corporate serious jobs, I kind of started to calm it down. And then I realized that like they were all actually fine with it. I was kind of putting this on myself. So then I started kind of experimenting with it a little bit, little by little by little by little. And then I started realizing, I want to go perform. And those things actually weren't connected at all. They just kind of happened at the same time. And then with that, I was like, I should probably come up with a stage name because now I'm wearing makeup. And I'm doing the heels, which in my eyes was kind of like my way of just like really differentiating myself. Because like if I'm going to be queer, be different.
For sure.
And then I came up with a stage name, which was an insult someone had thrown at me years and years ago. And I was like, that'll be fun. So, and from there I just kind of played and it became who I was. And then the heels, like you have to book me for something pretty big these days for me to wear those. That's like I used to wear them to every open mic, and now I'm like, girl, I better be headlining. Even then, I might be wearing flats.
That's so funny. Do you have jokes about the heels? I assume.
No.
What?
No.
You don't say anything about it?
Well, I don't. Well, because like when I'm wearing, so the thing with like the whole outfit and the like everything together is I don't have to then explain anything. Because like a lot of comics they have, and it's why it's really difficult for some comics to do a 7-minute set is because the first 5 minutes is them explaining their vibe and who they are. Whereas when I just show up, a lot of times I don't even do a joke about me being gay. It just doesn't come up. And it's just like, what did you need me to say?
Right, but it's already said, and so everybody knows that's the point of view from this. The joke is from this kind of person's point of view because I can see who you are. Yeah. That's so interesting. Wow. That's awesome. Good for you. I mean, as long as it works, right?
Yeah, it worked. I mean, I'll say like...
And it's not like a gimmick, right? It's not like you're like...
one of the smartest things I did was put myself up in like makeup and outfits and call myself the Queeny Bitch in the beginning was because when I did that, it made me incredibly memorable.
Oh yeah.
I'll still have people who are like, oh, you still do comedy? And I was just like, yeah, when did you last see me? They're like, riddles. I was like, that was 4 years ago. Jesus.
That's crazy. Yeah, it gets in your head, I guess. That's great. Yeah, there was one guy I saw at a Don't Tell show, and I can't remember his name, but he had these like arm braces, right? So like he was like disabled.
Oh, I know him. Yeah. I can't remember. What was his name? Josh something?
But anyways, he was literally the closer. Like he was the funniest guy there.
Oh, he's amazing.
Incredible. Yeah. And again, of course, I forgot his name, so it's not a very good example. But it's like, I will not forget that guy.
I did a show with him out in Aurora at a Roundhouse, and he did a full 20. And it was very, very funny. Yeah. Like I was sitting there, I was just like, God, this guy's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, he just funny.
I can't remember if his name Josh or Paul, one of the two, but it's a very, very nice guy. Yeah. Yeah. Very basic white guy, but then comes up with the 2 arm crutches and is just hilarious about it the whole way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. Okay. So, I guess we can pivot a little bit out of comedy. So like, where do you live in the city?
I live in Roscoe Village, which is like right on like that Western Belmont area, which is great because I'm like away from everything. It's like I'm old, so like I need everything away from me enough that I'm not being affected by major events, but I can get to them if I want to.
Sure.
Like I was...
Protest isn't going to be blocking your door, but...
Or like St. Patrick's Day happened, like because I work in like on Halstead in Lincoln Park, and St. Patrick's Day comes and that area is just hell. When I was working in like more, if you're working more around like Southport in like the Wrigleyville area, any Cubs game affects you.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, I was like, oh, it's so great because no matter what's going on in the city, I'm in a coach house. It is quiet by me, but I'm right by the Belmont bus, which I can get to the red line if I need to. Nice. I'm right by the 49, which takes me up and down Western. I can go wherever I want. Really easy, but like I don't have to deal with it at home.
Yeah, it's great. One time we were, it was like the Mexican Independence Day or whatever. So everybody's got the Mexican flags out of their cars, and they're all. It's just like a parade in the street. It's just packed, and. We were going from like our friend's apartment to a bar or something like that. Anyway, so we took like a bunch of cars and everybody got like trapped in traffic, and we were literally sitting there for like an hour just not moving. So we ended up getting out of the Uber and just walk. I mean, it was brutal, but Yeah, it was just like, we had no idea. We're just like, oh yeah, I'll go down the street to the next bar, and then it was just like stuck in a sea of people.
Yeah, at a certain point, you're like, we should walk. We should walk down.
Yeah.
We should walk down to the next bar.
It got to the point where we all had to pee. It was 4 of us in the car. We had to pee so bad that we got out and left. I think I peed in the garbage can at the train station.
Love
just like
that
kind
for
of
you.
turned sideways.
That's classy.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, also like tall person privileges.
Not bad. So I was going to say, I think you're taller than me.
How tall are you?
I'm like 6'4", 6'5"-ish.
Okay, I'm like 6'3", 6'4".
Okay. I was shocked.
I always say 6'4" because whenever I get measured by the little ladies at the doctor's office,
Yeah.
it always comes out 6'3". But if I say 6'3", people argue with me. Because I'll be like, "Oh, I'm 6'3". Like, no, you're not. No, you're 6'4". I'm like, okay, fine, I'm 6'4".
See, I do the opposite. I think I am 6'5", but people always go, bullshit, you're not 6'5". So I go 6'4".
No, you might be
6'5".
6'5". Because when I saw you, I was like, oh no, you're actually taller than me.
Yeah, it's rare to see somebody. I always kind of feel like I have this thing in my head of kind of like a kind of clock you, like if I'm in a restaurant or something, you see some tall.
But I'm like, I don't know. I might be the opposite in this because people I was like, so do you feel like you're at home when you're around a bunch of other people who are tall? I was like, no, I feel wildly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to every like personal interaction being looking down just like a little bit.
It's true, yeah.
Either face forward or down. The moment I have to go up, it feels so foreign and weird.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's like emasculating too. It's like, geez, I'm usually the tall guy. You can't be the tall guy.
Yeah. It's like, even as all of this, I'm just like, I'm ready to puff out my chest. It's like, sweetie.
You're like, yeah, wait a second. What am I doing?
What am I doing? Why am I becoming a toxic masculine right now? Right now.
That's so funny. Have you ever had an interaction with somebody that, I guess, a cancel moment or something like that, or somebody saying some out of pocket rude shit to you?
I mean, yeah, I was from the suburbs, I went to Batavia High School,
Nice.
like it was but I don't know, like cancel culture for me is like a weird thing because I'm just like, I don't think it's only real if you believe it.
True.
And I think people figure that out at a certain point, that if you just kind of keep going, eventually they leave you alone.
Yeah.
So like, as much as yes, I've had people say weird stuff, I generally just kind of forget about it pretty quickly. I did have one situation where it was like, this was an open mic when we were just coming back from the pandemic, and I had this thing where I was like, I made this joke about like, I don't like guys. I don't understand why you're sleeping with women. Like, I don't know if you've heard about this, but they bleed. And like, but the whole thing was, I was just saying that like vaginas are gross. But then what I then pivoted to is then women, I don't understand why you live with men. They're basically wild animals. Don't let them in your house, lock them in your barn. That's fine. Bring them out for sex so they feel like they're useful. Like, so essentially like I'm hitting dudes so much harder.
Yeah.
And I was doing it in makeup and everything. I walk off the stage. I think I was wearing heels to this outdoor open mic, and this guy comes over and he's just like this like straight white presenting dude. He's like, I don't think you should really talk about that because, women are an ostracized class. And I was just like, you're going to tell me this.
What?
Like you are telling me this. And I was like, get away from me. Like, what are we talking? I was like, the last thing I need right now is a straight white dude walking up to me telling me what's appropriate and what an ostracized group is. Right. And then he's just like, well, actually, I'm not straight. I'm like, oh yeah, what are you? He's like, pansexual. I was like, get away from me.
The fuck out of here. Okay, so pansexual, that's bisexual, but a little different.
Pansexual is like, I don't care like what the parts are. I fall in love with the person. Mm-hmm. So it's like they're all kind of they're all just kind of different versions of each other. I'm at a certain point, I just like, can we all just say queer and just move on? But like,
right.
I think like pansexual is I fall in love with the person themselves, and whatever the parts are, we'll deal that out later.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just interesting to me. So my friend is bisexual, but he's been dating a man for the last 6 years or something like that. So it's like in my mind, I think he's gay, you know, but
Well,
obviously
like the bis don't generally do that. They come out as bi and then they date the opposite sex almost directly after that, and everyone just kind of saying like, "Were you?"
No, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's gay, but he's again, it's more of just like a. I forget what he said the other day. It was something like everybody can be pretty or something like that. You know, like that's kind of how I see it. Because I'm like, it just doesn't click in my head. But obviously that's why I'm not bisexual, right? Because otherwise I would get it and then I would be bisexual, you know, but it's just so fascinating to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess that it's probably a lot easier to get laid in the gay community than it is within the straight community.
Right.
So, I mean, if
both
you're
doors
talking
are
about
open and this one's way easier.
Right. Well, because it's then the opposite of when you're dealing with bisexual females. Because bisexual females, a lot of times, says like, I prefer women, but men are so much easier to get. Right. And then when you're dealing with like bisexual dudes, it's just like, well, Grindr. There's nothing easier than Grindr.
Do you think that women would be turned off if you're a bisexual man? I feel like some
Depends
women.
on the person. I feel like they used to be much more than they are now.
Yeah, it's more of like a traditional kind of thing.
Yeah, I think like back in the day, everyone was like a little turned off by bi. Like bi used to be like people like when I was growing up, they're all like, "Oh no, bi is just a gateway to gay." And it was like, and I was always telling people like, "No, it's not." Like I came out as bi first because I wasn't ready to say that I was gay. But I know a lot of people who are like, no, they've been bi and they have been for years, and they do kind of switch between the two as they go, but I don't know, it's a different feel. Some women, yes, they feel, I think there's this idea that then they have like, well, I can't compete with what they have. It's just like, yeah, but that's actually not how it works. Like it's not
it
like,
doesn't matter because that's why they're interested in you. You know, it doesn't matter if you don't have.
It's not like this ebb and flow of like all of a sudden is like, oh well, I need 40% dick and then 60% this, and you only have the 60%, so it's never going to be enough. Like that's not how it actually works.
Right. Yeah, it's so interesting. So my friend wants to they want to find a woman, and then they would each have a surrogate kid with her. So then the kids would be related to the mom. Does that make sense? It would be like a three-way family dimension.
I want one too.
It is funny. Like, this one's mine, this one's yours.
Right, because then it's just like, okay, so then how do you raise the kids like that? Because then you're like, well, technically you're not my dad. Right, like, and like you're his dad. Mm-hmm. So like, I feel like that's going to make a weird dynamic later, or you just don't tell the kids, but then why are you doing it this way? But like, I always feel weird about gay dudes that want to have science babies. It's just like, you know how many kids there are up for adoption right now.
It's true.
Like you could just go and they need it. Like they need, like no one needs your science baby.
Yeah, right.
And like you could go get a baby today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was talking about, I don't want to give up his job because in case he doesn't want people to know this, but whatever, it doesn't matter. He's potentially going to make a lot of money in the future. And because we were talking about it, and he's like, dude, for 2 kids, surrogate, all this stuff. He's like, I've run the numbers. It's like $750,000. You know, he's like, like it's so fucking expensive. Because we were talking about like, when would you want to have kids or this and that, and it was, he was kind of like,
you have to pay them, and you have to pay for all the hospital bills and all the incidentals.
Oh yeah.
And like you have to give them some money for the fact that they're growing a kid for you.
Yeah, it's like $80,000 or $100,000. It's like, did they get paid? You know, and I kind of get that. Like, you know, you're sort of taking a year off of your life, you know, to like do this for somebody. So it makes sense. But yeah, so he was just like, I need to work for like 10 years at least and like make some fucking money before we even do this. But
or you could just not do it. That's a fun idea.
Yeah.
Save them. I mean, adoption isn't cheap either, but it's not $700,000.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I get it. Like, I also would want, if I had the choice of having a biological child and an adopted child, I would pick biological child, you know? So I get that. But yeah, it's like if you're gay, it's almost like, oh, okay, the choice was made for me. I'll be the adoption dad. You know?
There's just so many more hoops you have to go through to get the other way. So it's like, why don't you just, like, I get it, but I always just find it funny too because I'm just sitting there, just like, but I want him to have my eyes. Like, bitch, you have your eyes. Look in the mirror.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's like your genes are shit anyways. Like,
well, most of them
get
is
over
just
yourself.
like you have type 1 diabetes.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, if you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
you want those genes, but yeah.
Well, like on my like
Your dad's
on my,
an alcoholic.
On my mom's side, it's just like you all died at 50. Why are you
Right.
like you should all be adopting? Every one of you. Like
Yes.
my dad's side has pretty good genetics. The other side, I'm just like, y'all are hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
I
wonder what the stats are on kids that never got adopted. You know, that like just
there's
went
like
through.
there's a lot, and then they just end up in foster homes forever, and then they're just eventually it's like, well, you survived.
Right, you're 18.
Yeah.
But like I wonder what the stats are like. Do they have a higher tendency to become an alcoholic? Are they, more likely to end up in jail? Like, all that kind of stuff. How many of them?
I mean, there's definitely no generational wealth, so you have that side of things.
Right, how do you get to college?
Yeah, so I mean, definitely harder to get to college. Better have paid attention, gotten a scholarship. There's no one to really help you along the way as you go either, because like I know like when I
wait, were you adopted? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, I was like, for a second I thought you were. That was like explaining your story.
In my high school we had there was like an exchange program because like Moose Heart was right next to us, which was like a school for orphan children.
Yeah,
and so it was a very different experience for them. Like they really had to really focus on all of their studies because they kind of needed a scholarship to get through.
Oh yeah,
because
you
live there, and when you're 18, you're done.
Wow.
Like there's just like, sorry, we just don't have the facilities to keep you past that point. So you have to figure. Like I think there was like some programs and things to figure out, but
I'm sure you
have to figure it out.
Live with the friends you made from Moose Heart afterwards or something. You probably still like.
I mean, the goal is to then just get into a school and get into a dorm. Pretty quickly,
right.
I mean that's the goal. I mean, I'm sure there are other ways that they figure things out, and there's probably some other like nonprofits that they work with and things like that. But I think that's like the main goal of it.
Yeah.
But it's just like with how expensive shit is these days, it's like, well, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, man, that's so sad. It is just like you see like a person, some like 60-year-old like. Crackhead homeless guy or something outside yelling at you on the train. And like, at first you're kind of like, oh, this guy is annoying me, or like, I'm scared or something like that. But then after, like, if you really think about it, you're like, this guy was a child at one point, like what the fuck happened to this person? And
like, then I just remember how much I hate kids. And then I'm right past it. Really helps me dehumanize them again. Just imagine them as a screaming child.
Yeah, right. In my head, I'm like, oh, he was just a baby, and you're like, he was a fucking baby. Gross.
Germs. I just remember all my years in restaurants when they're screaming and the parents were just ignoring them. It's like he was probably that kid.
Yeah, the parents who don't give a fuck about the rest of the people, or like who bring a newborn baby on a plane or something, and you're like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, like planes, I get it. You have to go see family, and like you have the kid. What are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. But there's a certain point where like the restaurant's a choice. Like the restaurant is a choice.
Yeah, movie theater. Yeah, that's a choice that you had to make.
Yeah, and you brought this little kid in. And it's fine, people do this. They bring their kid in. Oh, you're good.
30 minutes. I've lost like the last 15 minutes.
Oh God.
The camera, or I get a phone call or some stupid shit. Sorry, back to children.
Well, it's like you'd have people like they bring their kid in to eat. And I'm like, I get it. You can bring your kid in. That's fine. There's a way to do this. And if they're sitting there and they're screaming and crying and all of that, bring them out to the parking lot, calm them down, whatever. Like you pick them up, you get them out of the area, you calm them down, bring them back in. And if they're just not calming down, then you got to go.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
It's like a cell phone. If your cell phone starts ringing in a public place, you either silence the phone or you answer
put
it
down
and
you
walk out.
You euthanize the cell phone. That's how it works every time. But it was just, you'd have the people who just ignore it and just act like it's not happening.
Yeah.
And it was like there's one lady who came in, and she was my hero because her kids came in, they were jumping on the seats and everything, and she told them to stop. She's like, you better stop, don't do it. And they kept going. She's like, okay. And she got up, came right to me, and was just like, we're going to take our food to go. and her kids just erupt screaming. She's like, well, I told you.
Yeah.
What am I doing? And then she was just like, let's go.
Wow.
And then just marched them out. And they're like, Mom, please. Just like, you'll behave next time.
Yeah, right.
And I was just like, that is a mom.
That is great. Yeah. So you don't want any kids at all?
Oh, no.
Do you want to get married?
I mean, I'd be down. I feel like for me, the kids thing is like my parents were amazing, and my father was built for that job. You know, like he was built to be a dad. He was a great dad. He wanted it, and he was ready to make those sacrifices with no regrets. I'm not that person. And I know I'm not that person, right? And I feel like I kind of went with this idea that's like, you owe it to your kid to have them only if you have this drawing need to be a dad, you know, because there are a lot of bad dads out there.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and there's a lot of bad moms, there's a lot of bad everything, you know, so it's just like the idea that you're doing it because you feel like you should, I'm like, you know, so I don't really think that is necessary for me.
Yeah.
And then luckily my mom and dad are both like, yeah, you're fine. You don't have to have one. My dad's a pessimist. He's like, the whole world's going to burn. I would really be happy if you're the last thing I have to worry about when I'm dying. And my mom was always she was never really the like, I need a baby around me mom.
Oh, okay.
She just wanted her own kid. And then beyond that, she's like, we did it.
Yeah.
So they were always kind of like, yeah, do what you want. But I never really felt that like huge yearning for it. Like, I think I would be a good dad, but I do think I would resent the situation because at a certain point you're in kid jail.
Yeah. It's like,
you
you have to do it now.
Well, and there's just things you can't do anymore.
Yeah.
For a while, you know, there's things that you know, if you have a kid for like the first like 10 years, there's a lot of things you just can't do because that kid needs to be there. They need the solidarity and all of that. You can't just like, hey, pick up, you know, like if I'm say like comedy picks up and all of a sudden I start getting on a tour, you can't just do that when you have a kid. Unless you have a really solid partner who can take care of it. And then, but if their situation doesn't make sense for that, it's like, and you don't have the money for a nanny, we'll figure it out. And I'm just like, well, I don't see myself being that. Also, like my friends will have a kid and they'll be like, they'll have me holding, like, doesn't it make you want one? I mean, no.
Yeah. We have a couple new babies in the family, and you can feel the energy change. Like everybody wants to hold the baby, right? And it's like this whole thing. And I get it now a little bit. You know, when I was 15 or whatever, I was like, fuck, who gives a shit about a baby or whatever, you know? But I kind of get it. And I love my little nephew. He's the man, you know? And
I think I would be a good uncle.
Right. Totally. I feel the same way.
But I'm the only child, so.
Interesting.
That's not going to happen.
Only child. Wow. Okay. What is your ethnicity? Where are your parents from?
So both of them from here. My dad was in Boston and my mom was in Oklahoma, and they met in Massachusetts and then moved here before I was born. My dad's black and my mom's white.
Interesting. So why was she in Boston or Massachusetts?
Well, so born in like Tulsa. And then right around she was like 13, the family moved.
Okay.
So then like my grandpa took the whole family and over to like Weston, Massachusetts. And they lived there until they were like 28. And my dad got a job offer to come to Chicago.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, okay, cool, let's go. And so they did. So I literally grew up as the only child. And then also we were the only family here. So it was like, for me, like my family is like my mom and dad. And like I'm connected with the others, but like they're also very like out of sight, out of mind kind of people.
Well, yeah, if you don't see them.
Yeah, so it's just like, but they do that with other people too. Like if you like the moment you leave, they'll just kind of forget to reach out to you, and it doesn't. Not that they don't love you, they just forget.
Yeah.
So then, and we're the same way. So it's just like I see them every few years when I go to Massachusetts, and I'm there for like 5 days, and then when I'm gone, it's like okay, well, that's over.
How do you like Mass?
It's gorgeous.
I've never been there before.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It's great because it's all the winding roads. The roads are more narrow, but like you have all the old trees around you. Boston itself is one of the prettiest cities around. Like truly one of the most gorgeous cities you're ever going to see. Horrifically unplanned. Horrifically unplanned. Like it truly, and I have a joke about it, but it's because it happened. I was walking around with my mom and dad, and we had just gone there to see people. And whenever we go to Massachusetts, we either don't tell people that we went, or we plan a whole bunch of activities.
Yeah.
And we're like, we will see you for this day, and this day, and the rest of it, we will fill it with other shit.
Yeah.
And so we go, and we're like walking around the city. And as we're walking down the street, and we're like, oh my God, Boston is so gorgeous. And then there's just a building right in the middle of it. And you're just like, who did this? You know? And it was just like, I went there for my 21st birthday little trip extravaganza with one of my best friends. Because they're like, oh, it's easy when we can go to Martha's Vineyard. I have family over there, so we can stay with them while we're doing that. And they're like, oh yeah, go home, come in, party, go home, whatever. And so like we're in Boston, we're in Martha's Vineyard and all of that. But like as we're trying to navigate Boston, you're used to Chicago being like a northwest, east-south situation.
Yeah.
The whole city's built on a slant. And so there's none of that.
Interesting.
Like north is somewhere over that way, and no one knows where it is. So and there's it's not even right left. It's a bunch of cow paths that they eventually just people start moving there, that they built infrastructure around it and eventually paved it.
Right.
So it's just really like it's all landmarks. You know, like, and I do a joke about it, but it's like, it's because it's literally how you get around. Like, you literally have to go, like, yeah, you kind of go over here, there's a fork in the road, you kind of take the left fork, then you're going to see a McDonald's, you're going to turn over there, and then you're going to see a Dunkin' Donuts. It's a good Dunkin' Donuts, you should stop in that one. And then you go, you know, it's just like, that's the only way. Like, my family came here, and they started saying, it's like, oh yeah, you go west down Wacker, and they're like, west?
Yeah.
What's west? You know, they have no idea. They have no idea how to get anywhere because people will just give you the directionals, and they're just like, everyone's giving me northwest. He's like, how the hell am I supposed to know? It's like, well, the streets are all basically compasses.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I love like geography and maps and stuff, so I'm definitely gonna look at Boston now and see, because I know it's like on like what do they call that? The Cape. That's where Martha's Vineyard is, at the end of the Cape or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's right at the base of it. So, because you have Boston, and then Cape Cod kind of goes around.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then, Martha's Vineyard is like way up at the... Actually, is Martha's Vineyard, or is that... No, that's P-Town.
Oh.
P-Town's at the tip of the Cape, which you can take a ferry from the Boston Harbor over to P-Town.
Gotcha.
Normally it would take you like 4 hours to get there, but the ferry only takes 1.
Okay, cool.
And they have drinks on the ferry, so it works.
That sounds like fun, yeah. Mm-hmm. This whole time you keep saying stuff, I feel like we need a Boston accent.
Oh, Boston. Yeah.
Vineyard.
No, yeah, Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Park the car and have it yet.
Right.
It's funny. All my aunts and uncles, thick Massachusetts accent.
It's funny.
All my cousins could be from anywhere.
It's so weird.
I think it's because they grew up on like TV and internet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, and you'll still hear little things. Like they still like the wicked thing. Oh, they say that a lot. Really? They say that a lot.
Wicked smart.
Oh yeah, no, they said it when I was there recently. My grandma's 90th birthday, so we're sitting there, and my cousins just had kids, or a kid, and so he comes down hot and fast in the morning.
Okay,
like he's a kid. He's just like yay, running around, all that. They gotta like wear out all his energy, and so I'm sleeping on the couch, and they're like, so. Just so you know, like he's gonna come down. He's gonna be loud, so you're not gonna be able to keep sleeping. And like we had a really late flight in, So I didn't even get in until like probably 1 because we had delays and all of that. My dad didn't even get in until 6 a.m.
Oh, geez.
So we're sitting there like, okay, fine, like whatever. And they get down. It's like, yeah, if you want to keep sleeping, you can go down in the basement. It's wicked dark down there. And I'm just like, right.
Right. I am here. Okay.
Yeah. Well, at one point when my grandma was in the hospital, she was fine, but like we went to visit because we were all thinking like, oh no, this is probably it because she was old.
Okay.
And we get there and like I hear one of the nurses talking to each other and like, do you need a permanent marker? I have a marker. You need it? No? Okay.
That's so great.
Just like, oh God.
Right. It's like when you go to Texas and you see somebody in a cowboy hat and you're like, they actually do it. They do it here. It's real.
I had my cousin said that when Wicked was originally touring, she described it as Wicked.
That's so
Unironically. Didn't even hear it.
And you said your dad is the black one? Mm-hmm. Okay. So do black people in Boston have the Boston accent?
Oh, yeah. They're all black.
And they have the accent?
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know why I just think of Mark Wahlberg being the, white guy accent.
Yeah, because Boston's racist.
Right. And that just rubbed off on me through osmosis.
Boston's very racist.
Okay, interesting.
But I mean, it's it's still a bluish city, but it's that area is definitely more racist than most other parts of the world or of the country.
But like a South Side Chicago black dude is not going to have the same Chicago, like the Italian guy accent.
Because Chicago black people have a more southern accent still because that's kind of how we got here.
Right. The Great Migration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like that drawl kind of still stays and it's just evolved.
And Chicago is so segregated north-south that it's like it was able to incubate itself. Probably.
Well, it's because once the black people started moving to what was the upper end South Chicago neighborhoods, all the white people immediately abandoned it.
Right.
So
I know my grandpa always talked about like, oh yeah, the South Side Irish people, and like I guess there's still a lot of South Side Irish people, but when you think of the South Side, you don't think of the Irish, you think of black people. I guess I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's still the South Side, the white blue collar people, and they still they talk like that,
Right.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like those are two very different like cultures. Whereas then you go Massachusetts, I don't know why, but no, like it's everyone kind of has it, but it's regional. Like Massachusetts is different than the Boston accent, and then like you go to Chelsea, and Chelsea has its own very specific thing, and that's just like a neighborhood within Boston, and it's just like, how do these people specifically have, But it's just kind of pervasive.
It's very interesting. Okay, so we're almost at an hour. I wanted to ask you about the beard, I guess, to be provocative for my last question.
You talking about my girlfriend?
Why do you why do you keep your beard?
Because I'm lazy.
Okay.
I don't know. I like it.
Okay.
I think, well, I mean, a lot of times I'm not wearing like full makeup anyway.
Right. But you do, like, I went through your Instagram before you came. So you do a lot of makeup, right? You do like sort of eyeshadow, or I don't know what you call it. It's wing tips or something. But so I guess that was just my question. Are you a drag queenie? No. Right? Like what,
No. Drag is, I feel like, I mean, kind of, I guess, because I feel like we're all a little bit, because drag is essentially just being a performative version of something, but generally drag is being a performative version of gender, right? Whereas for me, it's more of a soft expression thing. Because like for me to be doing drag, I'm not wearing wigs, I'm not wearing body, I'm not wearing full like dresses and gowns and the things. Like it's not a full character separate from myself. Like when you look at like let's take a famous drag queen as a example. Like you take Trixie Mattel. Trixie Mattel as Trixie Mattel is very different from boy Trixie.
Right.
Like they look nothing alike.
Well, because I mean, I think this is the person I'm thinking of. She draws like giant fake eyes, right? It's like so exaggerated.
Yeah. So like it's full blocked brows, everything, raises everything up with the wig and everything. Gorgeous, well put together, but it's meant to be a departure from who you are for a little bit. You know, whereas for me, yes, it's like maybe a little bit of an exaggerated version of myself, but I do feel like I'm kind of like putting myself on a little bit more. And it's a little bit more like I'm also a makeup artist. Like that's my day job.
Okay.
So like I sell cosmetics and I do people's makeup for a living. So that's kind of like it's more of a thing that I was doing for myself. I used to do bigger kind of drag makeup before, and I always used to call it light drag because I didn't do all the other stuff around it necessarily.
Right.
But and then as I kept going with it, I started doing softer wearable, just like let me just elevate it a little bit so it still shows on stage, but I don't need it reading from the back of the room, because then I started realizing I'm not doing big enough rooms yet to do that.
Right. Once you're at a theater with like a screen behind you where you can really get the close up on the eyes.
Well, or they're not far enough away where they can't see it. Right. You know, so like when you're doing these big, like exaggerated looks, but like the furthest person is 10 feet from the stage, it's like, well, that wasn't necessary.
Right. You could have just done the little thing.
Yeah, it was fine. So it's like, for me, it's more like a stage persona, like it's a presence thing. Like the idea behind like Queeny was literally someone who I did not like. It was one of my best friends. He was dating a dude that I was very much annoyed with, and he didn't like me either. And so he was talking about how I code switch when I leave the city. So like when I wasn't in the city, I was much more like masculine, toned down, because we had went to go see a movie in like Naperville. And I was just like talking normal and stuff like that. But like when we were in Boys Town, I was like, oh girl, and all of that. And I'm still kind of like that. Like it's like neither side is like dishonest. They're just different things for different situations. And so I was just like, oh yeah, you're so different when you're out here. You're right. You're not such a Queeny bitch. And I was just like, huh. And I walked away, and then like 6 years later I start doing comedy, and I'm like, I need a stage name.
Yeah, that's good.
I just thought of it.
That is nice. Wow. I'm sure that would get under your skin too. They're just like, fuck you. You don't know me. You don't fucking know who I am.
Yeah, at first I was just like, screw you. And then I was like, but then I just let it roll off my back. I didn't think about it again after that either, until all of a sudden I was needing a thing, and then for some reason it just like came up in the back of my head. I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, Queeny Bitch. It's such a good name. It really is.
Well, and I didn't tell the friend that was the reasoning.
Yeah.
So then he's telling everyone what my name is, and I'm like, you know who that's after, right? He's
so
like,
funny.
No. He's like, you remember Chris? He's like, you son of a bitch.
That's so funny.
He had been calling me it for like 2 years.
Right.
I had no idea.
Awesome. Well, I guess look at the camera and shout out your Instagram or your TikTok or your dates or where you perform.
Oh God, what is my TikTok? I just started posting on it too, so I'm doing really bad right now. My Instagram is easy. It's Queeny Comedy. And then and my TikTok is just at the Queeny Bitch. So QUEENY. I made it really easy for myself and I still forgot it. But Queeny Comedy for Instagram. That's where you're gonna see my dates and things like that.
There's clips of you up there doing stand up.
Yeah, there's some clips of me doing stand up. I just started posting because I realized it's what we all have to do. So fine. And the big things going on. I am one of the producers for the Windy City Comedy Festival. So year 2 is coming August 6th through 9th. We are going to be, I think we're doing 22 shows and we're doing 10 venues.
Awesome.
So, and we also have a fundraising show this coming Friday at Professor Pizza's new location. It's their grand opening, and it's us doing a fundraising show. We're going to have a dispensary, New Era, and also Malort is going to be there, and we're looking to get one more sponsor, possibly a THC
awesome.
beverage company. Yeah, so that's going to be so we're going to kind of turn it into a little bit of a party.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's what's going on.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing the show. It was great to meet you, and I'd love to have you back on. So,
of course.
Thank you so much. We are out.
Ladies and gentlemen.